All right, how's it going, everyone? It's the Monday show. Nick Atkin here. It's the One Championship podcast reacting to today's big news, the 1173 press conference in Tokyo. Well, nothing really happened, did it? No, plenty of things happened. A lot of stuff happened. Too much stuff to fit into an hour. I'm going to try and keep it to an hour because I have been working non-stop today while also doing live things. Yes, very tired today, but we got it all done. Yeah, we did went to the do a test with the missus and the baby for diabetes, just checking that's all good. Did some errands in town, then came back, watched the press conference, did whatever that was, 1 hour of that, and then wrote 4 stories. I've got 2 of them up now on bangkokpost.com. You can see we will discuss them all. I've got 2 ready to go tomorrow. I went to the gym, and then I spoke to Alexei Nicholas, did an interview with him, which I'll put up tomorrow. And then now we're here, we're doing the podcast. So thanks all for joining Beyond Kickboxing in the chat. I see you there. How are you doing? NG, good to see you too. Yeah, plenty of news to discuss. The big takeaways, as you can see from the thumbnail, obviously, it is some matchups. They announced the main event and the co-main event. The main event is, I think, what everyone expected, and the co-main event, really. There wasn't too much shock here, too much surprise. The big matchups, we knew it going in, really. It was Superbon versus Noiri. It had to be. It was just perfectly set up from Japan last time, with Noiri beating Tawachai, who beat Superbon in January. And now Noiri is the interim champ, so you've got to do that fight. When they didn't materialize an event in Impact Arena this summer, all signs pointed towards Japan. And here it is. And then co-main event, it is Reug Reug and Anatoly Malykhin. And I tell you what, I'm quite excited for it now. I wasn't really looking forward to it being on this card, but now it makes sense after a few things that they talked about at the press conference, which we will get into. And also, Takeru was there. Takeru was calling out Rodtang for a rematch. Bit of a surprise given the one-sided nature of the fight in March, but he is adamant he wants a rematch. We will get into all that and more. Yuki Yoza was also there, which pretty much signals he will be on the card. I think if he beats Petanong in a couple of weeks, that fight's coming up at Friday Fights 116. You can bank on him fighting Haggerty for the belt there. And Yuya Wakamatsu was also there, the one flyweight MMA champ. So we'll talk about his options for the show. I hope you're all doing good. I will try and get into any other news that has since happened from when I last spoke to you all, I think on Thursday. Obviously, we have One Friday Fights tentpole coming up as well this week. I'll be flying to Bangkok on Thursday, but I will try to give you guys a preview of that show, I think tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't think I can fit it in the show today. Also, we will maybe discuss some of the goings on from last Friday's show, One Friday Fights 113, and a few other little bits and pieces that have happened. Yeah, we talked about Chatri's Thai media scrum a lot. A few other things have happened since then on the same subjects, but the main thrust of today's show, yes, is the press conference. So hope you're all doing good. Good to see the chat is lively. I've done that one. Combat Sports today. One of my members, shout out to all the members as usual. Big shout out. If you want to join, if you want to be a member and join and help me out, you can click the button down there for the price of a coffee or a pint, probably half a pint, depending where you live. You can really support me and the work I do, especially helping me pay my contributors like Giuliano, who will be with me for One Fight Night 33 early next month. And who knows, we may link up this week for Friday Fights Tempo. I'm not sure yet. We need to figure it out. But got plenty of plans, hopefully expanding the operation. But yes, if you really want to have it, you can have a call title belt next to your name. You can get some custom emojis. You can get access to the Discord, things like that. Just do it. It's not that expensive. But no, I appreciate you all. Whether you subscribe, whether you're a member, whether you're just passing through and watching, please drop a like and a comment. Get involved. All right. Nicolas tuning in from work. Chummy boy, what's up? Muay Thai X1 is here on Facebook. You can also catch me on Facebook. The page is going crazy there today with the press conference stuff. Reug Reug and Malykhin. Yeah, I've missed the Reug Reug effect, you know, of any content I put up about Reug Reug seems to go mad. So I got an elusive boost from Reug this day. My Instagram's had a nice bump too. Appreciate it. He did a collab earlier on the face-off video, which is going crazy on there, and it's going crazy on Facebook. I even got a follow from none other than Eric Bailly, who, if you're a football fan, you may know him. Former Manchester United centre-back. Eric Bailly plays for Ivory Coast. I'm not sure where he's even playing now. I know he left Manchester United, obviously. Don't know where he ended up. I'm just going to have a little look. But I love this guy. And, yeah, he followed me from the Reug Reug reel. So that's a pretty cool thing today. He'll probably unfollow me very quickly once he sees the other shit I put out frequently. But nice to see that. He's got 3 million followers, and he likes to check out my Reug Reug content. I better feed him some more Reug Reug content. Well, he is now playing at Villarreal in Spain, or he was last season. I don't know where he'll be next, but he's cool. I used to love watching him play for Man United. Chummy boy doesn't like the co-main. Reug Reug Malykhin. Story of the fight's here. Another member, what's up, says, I'm awake, missed the conference, but saw your tweets about the two matchups. Yeah, it was pretty bad time for the US people, so nice time now to discuss it all. I'm sure you've all caught up on it, but we can deep dive on it. Chester, I think it was 3 p.m. local time, which was about 2 p.m. here in Hong Kong, so 2 a.m. you know, on the West Coast, I think. Oh no, East Coast, and then West Coast would have been 11 p.m., something like that. I don't know. Not great times for you. But Chester's here. Biggest surprise to me was it being in a cage. Yeah, we'll get into that. Story of the fight. It's actually blessed with the cage. These guys love the cage. Better for the heavyweights, Nicolas says. Andrew Hunt, good morning, evening. Takeru needs a comeback fight before Rodtang. What Edgar Tabar is up to these days. Yeah, I'll discuss that too. Superbon gunning for that rematch with Tawan Chai. NG says Yoza versus J-Hag in Japan would be massive. Story of the fight says. Hit the like button. Yes, that's it. More live watchers than likes on this vid right now. He's angry. I'm angry too. Hit that like button. Do it. If you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? If you're watching and you're lurking and you're not commenting, get in the comments. Get involved. Interact. Chris Brown here from Myanmar. What's up? How are you doing? It's NG likes it being in a cage. I think no, he says it's going to give Superbon a buff. History shows the few times he's been hurt real bad is because he was backed up against the ropes with no place to move. In a cage, you can circle out. Well, yes, Superbon, of course, won his belt in a cage. He knocked out Giorgio Petrosyan, that famous KO in 2022, I believe it was, or 21. Yes, the COVID days. Knocked him out cold, spark cold, in a cage. Everything was in a cage back then because it was all in Singapore, empty Singapore indoor stadium. But I say that he didn't do too well in the cage against Chingiz Alazov, did he? So I think he's 1-1 on. Well, he beat Marat in a cage and 1x. So he has mixed results in the cage. We'll see, but it makes a good point there from NG. He can circle out. He won 170 was a cage as well against Tawan Chai. I don't know. Is this a good thing or a bad thing for him? I really don't know. Ong Lan Sang, Burmese Python. Chris Brown asking. I hope he's on this card. I think he was meant to be this summer, but his contract's coming up, I think, again in the end of the year. So we'll see what happens with Ong. Gotta trap him with dog content, Nick. What was that in relation to? I can't remember. Right, a few more people here. Myanmar Sports likes it being in the cage too. All right, I'm gonna dive into it. Okay, so I will use my stuff from Bangkok Post. So if you want to do me a favor, go to Bangkok Post and read my content there, and spread it far and wide. Tweet about it, Facebook it. Is that still a phrase? Do all the good stuff. Yeah. So here you go. I put up 2 stories today. There are a couple more going up tomorrow, which we could also discuss. Sorry, but this is sort of my big recap here. The link is in my bio on Twitter, Facebook, and everything, so you can bookmark it for the One Championship Vertical here. But here you go. Superbon versus Noiri unification bout tops 1173. Chatri's predicting a massive knockout. Reug Reug and Malykhin heavyweight title rematch co-headlines the event. So this is it. Chatri announced the top 2 bouts during a press conference at Spiral Hall. I don't know where that is, but fun name. Said that more world title fights will be confirmed in the coming weeks. Blockbuster event set for Ariake Arena. Yada yada. We have arguably 2 of the greatest pound-for-pound strikers on the planet facing off in the main event. Noiri versus Superbon. I predict it'll end in a massive knockout. Superbon said, it's important for me to win and still with the champion. I want to go back to the rematch with Tawanchai. I cannot lose this fight. So yes, as NG suggested earlier, he's lasered in on winning this one and getting the Tawanchai rematch. I don't know whether it's going to be Muay Thai or kickboxing. Who knows? But first, he's got to beat Masaki Noiri. He admits, I think Noiri's got a lot more experience than Tawanchai in kickboxing, but against me, it's different. I have a lot of experience. I'm the best at kickboxing. I will still be the best. Noiri admits as well, yes, he's stronger. Superbon is more competitive than Tawanchai. I'm very grateful to be fighting him on such a good platform. I promise it will end with a knockout, and I'll be wearing the belt. So, huge fight. Chatri was really bigging this fight up. He was calling it more highly anticipated than Rodtang versus Takeru, which I don't think is, you could say that. It's he's being a promoter. I respect it, but I would say that fight was more highly anticipated. And the fact they kind of have Takeru teasing a rematch suggests, they are not confident that Superbon and Noiri alone will be enough to drive a huge pay-per-view buy rate and sell out Ariake Arena. So they're making sure people know, with tickets going on sale, I think they already are on sale, pre-sale, that Takeru, yes, will be on this show. Don't worry, guys. So we'll talk about Takeru in a bit. The footballer, LOL, disregard. Okay. I can't remember. Oh, Eric Bailly. Yeah, got you. Sorry, my brain a little fuzzy today. Been a long day. Yeah, trap him with the dog content. I'll get him for sure. A few more people here in the chat. Chatri also mentioned Shinya might fight again. I don't know what's going on with Shinya. Big if, but if Noiri beats Superbon, do you think Chingiz comes back? Yeah. Well, Chingiz said that to me whenever it was he turned up. Can't remember what month was. April. When Cricklier fought and he was there for a few days. I did those interviews with him and Superbon, and I think he said to me, he said as much. If Noiri beats Superbon, maybe I come back as one more challenge for me. He doesn't want to do the Superbon fight again. He's pretty adamant. But at the same time, he told me he thinks that Superbon will beat Noiri easily. And Mehdi Zatur said the same thing as well. They were sitting together, they're obviously friends. I asked Superbon what he thought about Chingiz saying he'd beat Noiri, and he said, I have nothing to say to that. I have no reaction. Yeah, I think Superbon is ready to move on from all this stuff. So I will try and track down Superbon in Bangkok. I think on Friday. I got the afternoon off, so I may swing by his gym, see if he will talk to me. Him and Petnong. Get a 2-for-1 special there. Who knows who else is knocking around there, but we'll see if we can drag him down and get his thoughts on this fight. He gave a few thoughts there, which I've just read to you from my story. But yes, Chatri was really bigging it up. I don't think I included in the article. It was quite outrageous. But what was he saying about Superbon and Noiri? Do I have it here? I don't know if I even wrote it down because it was quite funny. But it was basically saying, yeah, it's more highly anticipated than Rodtang. I don't know if you can get away with that. But another thing he said, which was interesting though, was we will have all the disciplines, kickboxing, MMA, grappling, Muay Thai, and maybe some more. So that to me indicates, yeah, we might have some sort of boxing thing. Who knows what that could be? Could it be Takeru and Rodtang in boxing? We'll talk about that in a bit. I don't want to get into that too much now. But yeah, he was really bigging up this fight. Says pound for pound, arguably the greatest strikers on the planet. Yeah, here's the quote. This is a fight that everyone around the world is clamoring to see. If people wanted to watch Rodtang versus Takeru, there's even more anticipation, especially in Japan. People want to see the greatest strikers on the planet face each other. And this fight, I predict, will end in a massive knockout. I don't know who, but somebody will get knocked out for sure. Yeah, Chatri was really loving it. But he was, basically saying it's bigger than Takeru. I don't think it is, but I really do like this fight, and I think Noiri's level of stardom did definitely go up with that Tawachai knockout, and Superbon is Superbon. This will still do very well as a main event, but I think you need a little bit of sizzle on the undercard. I think you're going to need Rodtang in there. You're going to need Takeru in there. Not necessarily against each other, but we'll see how it plays out. Tony Valley saying, why don't we do Takeru versus DeBella? We'll get into it. Official Lewis, notifications failed me. It seems to happen every time, Lewis. I'm sorry. But shout out to Lewis, member here on the channel. Seamus November, Callan says, feels like a long time to wait. Will Tabares be on the card? Fleming Moas. Maybe Takeru and Tabares could be there. Left the door open for tension with that and more. Yeah, I was thinking that. There has been some talk of tension. I've heard rumblings. Can't say too much. But I think it came out in the Thai press from that scrum last week. Yeah, that tension was targeted. I don't know. I don't want to say too much from what I know, but all I can say is it has been an idea, to do tension and Rodtang possibly, but who knows if that. It'd be very difficult to pull that one off. You're dealing with a lot of different factors that are not in your control. You know what I mean? If you're one championship, tension and Rodtang in boxing. Yeah, NG's suggesting. Have you talked about Chatri's claim of mistranslation about his attacks on Rise and Glory? I haven't. I think he was saying that he was only talking about Glory, not Rise. From what I saw the quotes in Beyond Kickboxing, obviously Ichi, and I saw it from Tetsuya, who translated, and Tetsuya said he thoroughly translated it and checked multiple times. So I don't know if the translation was wrong. I'm not saying it is. I just saw what you guys all posted. So you tell me, Ichi, if it was mistranslated. You obviously speak both languages, Thai and Japanese. Oh, bag fell over there. Did he say Rise and Glory? I don't know. I haven't seen the original video, so we'll see. But it seemed to cause a bit of a backlash with the Rise CEO, which you guys covered in Beyond Kickboxing. I think wasn't happy, was he? that Chatri seemingly said something disparaging about Rise, but I think the ire was mostly reserved for Glory either way. It was sort of directly comparing Glory's Facebook following numbers to One's numbers, things like that, and the amount of shows Glory does per year compared to One. I don't think he went in detail about Rise, so I'd have to check them again. From what I saw, yeah, it was more of a diss on Glory, but yeah, it seemed to, from the quotes I saw, he said they are small promotions, I think, both of them. We'll have to check again. Yeah, Thai media said he walked that back already and claim it's a mistranslation. Yeah, I think that's what he's put out there. I don't know if he was mistranslated. You'd have to ask the Thai media guys who were there. But that's what was reported by them, so that's all we can go on. I wasn't in the room, sadly. Would have loved to have been, as I said last week. Lewis says, I don't know if you all talked about it, but Yuya versus Reese would be great to watch. Yeah, I will give my thoughts on the Yuya stuff in a bit. Just getting through the main crux of it from the press conference. Reug Reug and Malykhin. So that's the co-main event, Reug and Malykhin. So I haven't put my article up yet about that, but I will just sort of read what I've written there, or some of the tasty bits which I like. So what I like about this, yes, Chatri confirmed this fight will be in a cage. I presume that means the whole event is in a cage and not going to do some crazy WWE War Game style, have a 2 rings thing, 1 ring, 1 cage next to each other. So yeah, I think it is I think it's yeah, I was just reading the comments. I think the whole event's going to be in a cage. So yeah, here's the main thing. Reug Reug kind of let it slip. Yeah, that well, he was saying something along the lines of, "I promise this fight won't be boring again." You know, and then Chatri weighed in and said, "Yeah, I admit the last fight was pretty ugly, and yeah, this is why we're doing it in the cage this time. There will be a finish." So yeah, Umar Khan and Malykhin are set for a high-stakes One Championship heavyweight MMA rematch at 117.3. And here's another interesting thing, I think, with 2 big legends of Japanese MMA history getting involved. Now, I wasn't expecting this, but I was originally against this fight being on this card. I thought it didn't really fit in, but then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, Japan has a history of heavyweight MMA, the Pride, Glory days, big boys, and the more you think about it, it's perfect. And then lo and behold, they go and reveal that Rampage Jackson is going to corner Reug Reug in Tokyo for this fight, and Malykhin said he's already training with Fedor Emelianenko. So, and also the fight is in the cage. So the first fight with 2 heavyweights in the ring was pretty ugly. One CEO Chatri admitted at Monday's press conference. But this time we're bringing a cage and somebody is going to get a finish. Reug Reug stunned Malykhin, obviously, in Bangkok with a split decision. But the bout drew criticism for a slow pace, lack of action, compounded by the ring. This time the rematch will be different, Malykhin said. Last time it was like a dance when the match started, but I will definitely get a knockout this time. Malykhin said he's looking forward to following in Fedor's footsteps. I heard there is a legendary Russian fighter here, Fedor Emelianenko. So I would like to inherit that tradition and show this beautiful MMA. Japanese people have shown me a very warm welcome. I would like to say thank you. Reug Reug said the best is yet to come from himself, not Malykhin. He says, last time I fought Anatoly, I fought the best version of him, the one who had knocked everyone else out, but I was only at 50%. This time you'll see the best version of me from round 1. Yeah, obviously bigger MMA divisions like heavyweight and light heavyweight have deep roots in Japan, dating back to the golden era of Pride in the 90s, 2000s. One appears to be tapping into that legacy with this co-main event, and the 33-year-old Reug Reug says Japan holds a special place in his MMA journey. I feel the tradition of Japanese MMA runs through my blood. A lot of legends started here. I'm next in a long line. This fight with Anatoly stamps me as one of the biggest MMA fighters in the world. I hope Anatoly appreciates me giving him the rematch. Reug Reug also revealed that Jackson, a Pride and UFC legend who fought Fedor at Saitama Super Arena in 2019, will be in his corner for the bout. Chatri later confirmed the news. I will bring Rampage with me to pass over the ceremonial banner of huge fighters in this region. I like to fight in Japan. I have too much fun here. Yeah, I can only imagine what Reug Reug's been getting up to in Japan, in Tokyo. The madness, the carnage. All right. Well, that is that. So this is why I'm very excited for this fight now. I think this adds a little bit of extra sizzle to it. You know, Chatri was talking up two guys. It's over 250 kg of pure power and explosiveness. MMA at the highest level on the planet. You know, it should be better than the first fight. Just the ring alone made that one a tough one, I think. Give me your thoughts on it. But I think I'm looking forward to that fight a lot more now. Brought out the OGs for this one. Story of the fight says, yeah, exactly. It's Fedor and Rampage. You know, they fought in that event. Yeah, 2019, I think it was. Ryzen, Bellator co-promoted, Saitama. So there's literally, yeah, history there. Fedor, former heavyweight champ, Grand Prix winner. Rampage has a lot of history and pride as well. It's a great idea for one, and it gets that casual MMA fan interest going as well. Crossover gets Japanese MMA fans interested. More crossover. Good idea, I think. Whoever came up with it, probably Rick Orty, I think, matchmaker there, head of senior vice president now of competition. I imagine it was his idea. He has some good ideas every now and then. Old Rick. Yeah, I think it'll be a cool thing. But I would expect, a few more title fights will be announced. Don't know what. Maybe we can speculate on them in a bit. Chach's predictions of a finish are always spot on, so I'm excited. Flaming Mo says. Beyond Kickboxing, what's up, says they should just sell Rodtang versus Superlek on the card. The Takeru Slayers let Takeru fight. Someone like Jiaosu Yai, the winners of those can fight next in Japan or Impact. Yeah, I agree. I think I was saying, I was hearing some chatter of Rodtang and Superlek. And I think it's perfect storyline. The Takeru Slayers, both of them beat him in Japan. Do a title fight. Get Superlek with Pete, the nutritionist, Peter Miller. Get him down to flyweight. He's got plenty of time, be no problem. And do the title fight on the line. It's kind of the conclusion of that trilogy that's been playing out for the last 2 years or whatever. So yeah, why not? Why not do that? I think it would sell a lot of pay-per-view buys in Thailand. I think hundreds of thousands, of pay-per-view buys in Thailand, which is decent money for one. I think this show needs to be a smash hit on pay-per-view for them, and the pay-per-view needs to work. They can't afford to have technical difficulties like last time. To me, that fight, people will hand over their 200 baht or whatever it is. No questions asked. They won't complain. That was, the most watched fight ever, I think, one had in Thailand. Superlek and Rodtang's first fight. Don't know if the Rodtang-Takeru thing overtook it, but this was on Thai national TV, and the numbers were pretty astronomical. So why not get some money out of it? And you still have the Muay Thai rematch at hand that you can do in Thailand, I think, at a stadium there. So why not give the kickboxing one away in Japan? Not sure it will sell a crazy amount of tickets. 2 Thais going at it, but the names are big enough, and you paint it, as the guys who beat Takeru. So probably still would sell tickets, but it will sell a lot of pay-per-views. Is what I'm trying to say. Anonymous, another member. What's up? Thanks for being a member. Appreciate you. Says, I don't think Rodtang will be ready for Takeru. He looks big, and wife is due soon. He might be too busy with parenthood to train properly. Well, he's not trained properly many times, and he's, parenthood hasn't really stopped him before. So he does have a couple kids, I think, from before, but I don't think those are the reasons he wasn't training. I think Rodtang will be fine. Ida is very accepting of Rodtang's career, and that the money he brings in is, what has given her and her family and their combined families such an incredible life. Rodtang's purse is just phenomenal for a Muay Thai fighter. 15, 16, 17 million baht, I think it was, to fight Takeru. So a serious chunk of change. Obviously, they have a lot of land where they live, and Rodtang's got a farm he wants to build and everything, a zoo. He's got lots of wild animals. So I don't think she would demand he doesn't train properly for this fight, even if it's in November. I think she's due to give birth in 2 or 3 weeks. So, it would, the first month or whatever, I don't think Rodtang would take a fight if it was in July or something like that. But I think Ada will be very understanding and make sure he trains as much as he needs to for a big fight. I don't think she would hold him back from doing that and demand he gives all his attention to her and the baby. So I think Rodtang will be okay. But yes, I think we'll get into this. Yeah, this is the next big thing, Rodtang and Takeru. So let me bring up the article. I wrote it up for Bangkok Post. So again, you can go check out the website there. There it is. Takeru calls for a Rodtang rematch, boxing or bare knuckle. Bit strange. What's that? Let me just read some of these comments here. Hey, bro, how you doing? Dickers, hello. Good to see you. Do you know if Anatoly is really training with Fedor, or is it a marketing thing? Fedor can really help his MMA game if it's real. I don't know, actually. Yeah. It could be marketing. It could be real. I'm sure it wouldn't take much to get Fedor to commit to it. You probably have to slip him a bit of money, but I think Fedor would probably do it. I don't know if he's tied down to another promotion or anything and he can't work with one. I don't think so. He wouldn't be fighting himself, so he should be able to do it. But yeah, it's a cool storyline for him to be involved in. What's the news on Christian Lee? Percy asked. No news, Christian Lee. I really don't know. I'm just going to stop suggesting things for Christian Lee to do. Not his fault, but yeah. And Combat Sports Day, Alexei Nicholas wanted Nikki Hoska in Japan. Also curious if one brings back Kaito. Yeah, so I just interviewed Alexei Nicholas before this show, and we talked a bit more about his call out of Nikki Hoska and him wanting to be on the show in Japan. So we'll check out that interview. I'll put it up tomorrow. But basically, yeah, he really wants Japan. He says he loves Japan, loves the culture. He was meant to fight Reggie and Ursel on that last card in Japan. Fight got moved. So I think one owes him a favor. I think it's a great idea, him and Nikki Hoska. Nikki Hoska obviously has, some. He was in Japan last 2024 show, January 1. He's got some momentum now after beating Sensama. Big shock at Friday Fights 100. I think, why not? He's a recognizable name, a big name now, in kickboxing in Japan. So Holtzkin, I think, is a good one. You could do the trilogy with Sensama there. I think that might be more realistic. I'm not sure if Alexei will get his wish here. He may have to wait, but plenty of other options for him, and we talked through a lot of that. So watch that tomorrow. Yeah. I hope one keeps returning to Japan, says Test, maybe 1 or 2 events a year. I would love if they did minimum 2 like this year. I would love 3, I think depends in a dream world, yeah, I think three big ones in Japan and 3 big stadium events in Bangkok. Then you can have one in Denver, one in Qatar. But I don't know. I just love the stadium shows wherever they are. Manila, I want to see come back. Malaysia, I want to see come back. Yeah, all of them. Singapore, of course. Kaito unlikely to come back, says Ichi. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Someone asked if Kaito would come back. Not sure. What's up, CFR Network? Good to see you. Petch is a nightmare matchup for Yuki Yoza. Do you agree? A lot of people saying that. NG, I mean, NG, I'm just going off what Ichi told me, when Ichi came on the show. So maybe we'll try and get Ichi on to do another fight companion for that fight. He can explain it a bit more. But yeah, Ichi was saying out of all the people in the division that Yuki could fight, that's the one fight he didn't want to see Yuki Yoza get, because it's a nightmare matchup. So we'll see what happens. That fight is coming up in 2 weeks. A nice card for that show shaping up. They owe Reggie and Ursula a fight in Japan. Yeah, as well as Alexei, they owe Ursula for that one. Those two were going to fight in Japan. And Ursula was promised to fight in Denver to make up for it. Then Denver got moved to next summer, so both guys owed a favor. Ursula obviously fighting George Jarvis in August, so he's busy. But sure, if he gets a big win over George, he might start calling for something in Japan, maybe Nikki Holskin as well. Who knows? Pepper, maybe it's prime Petch, but at this stage of the game, I think Yuki can win that without many problems. Story to Fight says Yuki Yoza in Pentanok. 1 versus Glory in Japan, CFR Network says. Chatsuri doesn't want it. He says, no, we will not co-promote with Glory. Pentanong is the first real test for Yuki in 1. It's a good matchup for Lewis says. Is it going to be on pay-per-view or Prime? Percy says. I think it'll be watch.1fc.com. I don't know if, I think that'll be it. Who knows? It's 5 months away. They may strike a deal. I would love to see them strike a deal with DAZN or something to stream it on there. I think it's a much safer bet. Obviously, there's rumors of the Amazon deal being up at the end of the year, I think I saw. I'm not sure how real those reports are. But yeah, if they need a new US home, something like, I don't know if DAZN counts as US home, but that would be a cool one. Malaysia card sounds good, Lewis. So yeah, not too far for you to hop over if you're not getting Singapore either. I'm only worried that Pet's gonna start slow, but they go so long we might have a war in our hands. Chummy Boy says, I'm looking forward to the fight. Here's Ichi weighing in. Pentanong is very elusive. Yuki prefers fighters to trade with him, not moving around. The good news for Yuki is that Petch is almost 40 and only fights once a year, so he could just fall off. Yeah, that's it. I think I missed some comments from earlier. Sorry, guys, if I did. Appreciate all the love. But I'm going to I'll get through this Rodtang stuff with Takeru, and then we can freestyle the rest of it. I do have some other things I'll mention. Takeru calls for the rematch. Yeah, we got it here. So it was a bit of a surprise. I wasn't surprised it was there. I was surprised he went so hard on Rodtang. Here's what he said. So the big news, he's not retiring. 1 championship has helped me decide I want to continue fighting. I would like revenge against Rodtang. So this is what I'm thinking about now. I'd like to say I'm very ready, but I'm not in a position to make any proposal. I saw Rodtang made some comments on social that he's ready, and I heard from some people in 1 that maybe a good idea would be boxing. So maybe that, or open finger gloves, or bare knuckle, or even just a fist fight. So yeah, I thought something was up when I saw Rodtang posted this comment on Instagram, like, happy to give you a rematch, something like that. The last fight ended too quickly. My spidey sense went off. I thought, they're up to something here. I think they were, coordinating to either just create some buzz or really set things in motion. I think it's a test. They're testing the waters to see if the fan appetite is there for this rematch, and if it is, they'll go for it. But I think, yeah, Takeru needs to do some sort of. You need to just give him a warm body to beat up and knock out in a couple of months to get him a win, to set something up like they did with the Tanzin fight last year or earlier this. I think it was last year. So yeah, I don't care who it is. Just go get the janitor at Lumpini. Put him in some gloves and shorts. Let him take one punch from Takeru and go down. And there it is. Get him a win. I don't care who it is. It could be anyone. I think just rehabilitate him quickly. I was saying last time, it's funny that you shouldn't do that. You should do the opposite. You need to give him an opponent like John DiBella or Taiki Naito. That's when I thought he wasn't going to fight Rodtang in Japan. I was advocating for DiBella or Naito in Japan. I still would like to see those fights. If they don't do this Rodtang thing, I think those fights make sense. The Naito one was a good call out. DiBella, I think, is a great super fight for those two. It would make DiBella a bigger star, and you would think Takeru should have enough to beat him. It would be a great match. If Takeru doesn't beat him, I would definitely hang up my gloves if I was him. But obviously I love John DiBella, but you would expect it being in Takeru's favor because of the weight. Imagine it would have to be at flyweight. I don't think he'd come down to do a catch weight. So John would have to go up, be giving up a bit of size there. I think it would be a great fight, and it would be a huge test for Takeru. So, but I don't think it's going to happen now. I think they seem to be zeroing in on this fight with Rodtang, but we'll see. Rodtang seems open to it. Obviously, he did, like I said, wrote on social. Chatri seemed open to it. He says, he appeared to welcome the idea. He appealed to the fans. What would you think would be the best discipline? We would like to ask the Japanese fans. I mean, like I said earlier, I think they're surveying whether there's enough interest. Asking the fans, what discipline would you like? I mean, to me, there's only one discipline it should be, if you're doing it, it's kickboxing. Bare knuckle makes no sense, given Rodtang-Takeru Takeru in 80 seconds, was it? 1 round with a left hook in 8-ounce gloves. So why would you want to? It makes no sense to go bare knuckle, because that's not why he lost, because of these big gloves. It's the opposite. So they're kind of trapped in a corner there. It doesn't make any sense at all. Boxing match as well. Like, I presume that means boxing with big gloves, like 8-ounce gloves again. Like, again, that doesn't make any sense. Like, the kicking wasn't the factor that caused Takeru to lose. He got hit with a left hook. So none of it makes sense. If he, I don't know. He the angle he's got to go for, if he wants it, is just say, you know what, Rodtang, you put this picture on the screen, perfect. You say, you embarrassed me on my home soil in front of my people. You made me cry backstage in front of Chatri, the boss. You hurt my pride, and I want to prove to you that this was a fluke. You didn't get the best Takeru this day. You didn't get me at my best. You didn't get the natural born crusher, or whatever his stupid nickname is. You will do, though, if you accept this challenge. But of course, I know I must earn it. So I will go and I will take on insert name here first. And when I get my hand raised in victory, I want you there ringside to see it. And I want you to look me in the eye and then grant me my wish. And if I can't beat you a second time, I will retire. You paint it as Takeru's retirement, potentially. And you up the stakes there. And Rodtang, like someone said in the chat here, he just loves money. Tatsuya said he'll take the fight. Like I said, he's got the whole family of hangers-on who want him to, find him nice things, and he does, because he gets a lot of money. So I think it paints some intrigue. you play up enough. You play up that stuff. Noiri was talking about how Takeru had the broken stern and broken rib. He wasn't his best. You create just enough doubt. I think people will want to see if Rodtang can just flatten him again. I would do it. I would pay to watch. All right. Let me know if you like my pitch. Flaming Mo says Takeru needs to rehab by getting some wins. He can take the Shinya Aoki spot as the guy who adds star power outside the title fights. Yeah, I think he does need to rehab a bit, but I'm sure his purse is astronomical, so tough to do that. Yeah, what would you do? Put him on another Friday fights, I guess. Yeah, apparently he was injured a few days before the fight. If that's true, you play up that angle. Yeah, he hasn't said anything. He's too proud to, I think. Noiri said it, but get him to come out and say, yeah, it shows him x-rays, show doctor medical record. I guess that might be difficult though, because then why did he fight? Why did one let him fight? Of course they wanted him to fight. They needed him to fight. Amor says they need to stop talking super fights for DiBella. He's 14 fights into the career. He should be competing 3 or 4 times a year. Keep it moving. I agree. I think I would like to see him now get the Prajanchai fight on this card. If they're going to do Rodtang-Takeru, I think the only thing that makes sense is this, and I don't think he will get on another card outside of this one. One Lumpini FC. Yes, see you Thursday, sir, for the Friday fights. 114 face-offs and weigh-ins. How you doing? My buddy, Shine. Takeru cries after his one fights, it seems. Shandy says, please no bare knuckle. Story of the fight. We don't need these guys breaking their hands and being out for a while. Yeah, agreed. I'm just scrolling up through comments and things. For fuck's sake, Flaming Mo says flyweight Muay Thai is one of the strongest divisions. There has been no champ since Rodtang bombed weight last year. Yeah, I think if Rodtang does this fight, then you move on without him in flyweight division Muay Thai. You know, you need to, and it's fair to say you can be like, look, he's busy doing his super fight thing, so we're gonna do Nongo versus Kongtorani trilogy for the title, vacant belt, something like that. I would be totally fine with that. There's you could throw Jiao in there if you really want. I think Kongtorani deserves a say, though. Don't know if Superlek will be bothered to get down to flyweight, fight for that. He'll be allowed to. We'll see. Rodtang wants the big money. I did that already. What do you think about the other pitch? Chatry says he's interested in signing the Glory champ once his contract's done. Says he will pay 5 to 10 times more. Yeah, we covered it on the last show. I would love to see him there. I think he's great. I think adds a lot of value. Obviously, incredibly talented. It's a win-win. Bring him into one. We talked about it before. It's he's a huge name out there. They've done quite well in getting all the big name kind of ties they don't have. This is one of them they could definitely go after. They're starting to get them all in. Big name ties and Japanese. That's the way forward for me. Stadium show. Official Lewis wants the stadium show every 2-3 months. One has a lot of main event stars that can book easily. Yeah, that'd be a good rate. 6 a year. I would love one every month, you know, if I'm being selfish or optimistic. Make it MMA, then I'll watch it. Rodtang versus Takeru. Yeah, grappling, who knows? I would, you know, I'm down to see the fight. I just think you can't throw a crazy stipulation that is not warranted. If Takeru is on super cash, Flaming Mo says, then unfortunately he must be fed to some big star in a main event, though I don't think real fans are very enthused by the prospect of him getting lit up. No, I just want to see him win, to be honest. Put him on a prime show. God knows those shows need it these days. Yeah, could do. Pampayak's out injured. Do you know how long he's out? I don't know. they didn't rebook him. They got someone else in to fight Ortikov. I think Pet Sukumbit, who won a couple of weeks ago on Friday fight. What's his record since signing with one? He's 1-2, so he's lost 2 fights. He's 1-1. Chatri said Glory sucks, but he loves to poach their fighters. Yeah. Well, what else did I want to say? Okay, so yeah, Yuya Wakamatsu was also there. We talked about Yuki Yoza a little bit. It's pretty obvious what Yuki's pathway is. Yeah, but the sort of interesting one with Yuya is they seem to push this. Again, I'm going to put this story up on Bangkok Post tomorrow, but I'll read some of it out to you guys. You lucky people can hear it. Yuya Wakamatsu says he's ready to prove one championship has the best flyweight in the world and wants to do it by facing UFC champion Alexandre Pantoja. 29-year-old Japanese star made his bold call out at the press conference for 1173, where he's expected to make the first defense of the title. He won in March. Who would I like to fight against? Anyone, Wakamatsu said. This is my duty to prove to the world that the one flyweight title is the best in the world. If anyone gets in my way, I will beat them up. The biggest enemy is myself. Anyone is fine. But maybe we could have Pantoja against me. That UFC guy. I think they translate as that UFC guy. Not sure if Wakamatsu said that. Yeah, well, UFC one cross promotion is highly unlikely. Appoint even one chairman and CEO Chatri Sitchatong acknowledged with a smile. That can happen anytime, he said, but unfortunately we don't have a contract with him. Chatri did hint, though, that Wakamatsu's next opponent could be undefeated Uzbek standout Sanjar Zakirov, who recently moved up from strawweight and boasts a perfect 13-0 record. Maybe it will be someone new in the flyweight division, someone who has 13 wins, Chatri said. One has long pushed the narrative that his champions are the best in the world, particularly in the lower weight classes. Chatri has repeatedly said one is open to a champions versus champions showdown with the UFC and has dismissed the idea of co-promoting with any other organization. They would win some, and so would we, Chatri previously told media in reference to a hypothetical UFC versus one supercard. Last week, he shut down the possibility of working with Glory, calling it small promotion and asking why would we give him the spotlight. That's stuff we were discussing earlier. But yes, so who's Yuya fighting? Well, yeah, it's not going to be Pantoja, but I like the call out. Yeah, putting the UFC name in the frame, but it's not going to happen, is it? So I think, yeah, I would like Reese McLaren to get the shot. We've talked about it before. I think Reese earned it by beating Jared Brooks, but the problem with Reese was he got really pissed off when Yuya got the shot over him to face Adriano Moraes for the belt in Japan in March. Reese was irate and he went nuclear on social media. He said, I want my release. Please let me go. One championship. But he's contracted through to God knows when. So he was not given his release. Ball's not in his court. So I think I don't know if he's going to get the shot because he disparaged one on social and he seems to still be doing it. If I was Reese, I would just, I think maybe stop. If you want this fight, you gotta stop calling out one for it. You gotta play ball. You gotta be nice. I love Reese. I love his team. I think he really deserves the shot. Beating Jared Brooks, should have earned him the shot. Jared was the interim strawweight champ at the time. He had made a lot of noise about making a run at flyweight. So Reese shut it down. I think be the perfect opponent for you. They have fought before, so Reese has got plenty of proof. He lost that fight. I just think he's talked himself out of it, with some social media stuff. And this is a great lesson for you, I've suffered from this before. Like, what do you call it? Hot fingers. You know, when you're angry and you text and you tweet and you type and you pick up the phone. It's when you do your worst stuff. Yeah, because you're angry. You're in the heat of the moment. You say bad things you don't mean the next day, which could cost you big time. With various things in life. So, yeah, I think Reese should kind of walk back that stuff, and I'm sure that where there's a will, there's a way. If he apologizes to the right people, maybe they'll grant him this title shot. But if not, he's just going to be held against his will. So I think if I'm one, and if you're not going to use Reese McLaren for this title shot, why not just release him if he wants to go and fight? He's not getting many fights. He's already disgruntled about that, getting like one fight a year. So yeah, let Reese go. We're not going to use him, but I think they could use him here, but they're going to have to figure that out. He did, call him out on social. Flaming Mo says Reese is the perfect candidate to face Yuya. He has so much momentum and is fresh in fans' minds from his recent fights. Yeah, I agree. So Reese is in Chatri's doghouse. Percy says, well, I don't know. I haven't heard personally, but he said some things on social. Yeah, disparaging things. But, I understand he's angry. But, yeah, so Chatri seemed to allude to it not being Reese anyway, or Pantoja, but actually Sanjar Zakharov. So Sanjar, I like Sanjar. He's good. He's kind of been bouncing around. He had a strawweight fight. He struggles with the strawweight hydration and everything. So he was like, I'm going to go up to flyweight. He called out Reese McLaren actually, but ended up fighting who was it? Echo Ronnie Saputra, blast from the past. Got a good knockout, and then he fought Bokang Masinyane at bantamweight or something. I need to refresh my brain on. Let's see. Sanjar Zakira topology. Yeah, he's been going up and down all these divisions. I think the thing with Bokang was just like a short notice thing, so they did it at. I think he was at bantamweight, but yeah, he's done 3 divisions in his last 3 fights, so he's got some good wins. He came through the Friday Fights ecosystem. He had a good knockout there. Got a bunch of finishes on the regional scene. I'm just looking at it. Yeah, I really like him. He's a fun guy. I think he could be the candidate. Yeah, he could be the one to face Yuya. He's got a good record. I think it's 13-0, 14-0. So probably will be Sanjar Zakirov. All right. What else? So I think that's it from the press conference. Coming up on an hour, so that's pretty good timing. Where is Carrillo Shandias? I think he's getting married pretty soon. He's been doing some stuff. Went back home to Scotland. Getting married next month. So he's not in jail or being denied fights or anything. He's just living life right now. Excuse me. UFC's contract with ESPN is also expiring. Yeah, there's a merry-go-round right now. Ichi says, I'm curious about Shinya Aoki. Chatri mentioned his name during the press con. Then Aoki press on X, he's not renewed his contract with one. Yeah, I thought Shinya was out, so I don't know if it was a slip of the tongue. The Chatri meant to say Shinya, or someone else, because I thought Shinya was done with one. Made it pretty clear after the last show. And honestly, if I'm one and Chatri, I wouldn't go back to Shinya because, I love Shinya, but he's just talk shit about them pretty much constantly. So they should probably swerve him. It's funny though. I do like Shinya. He's a very smart guy. Got a good sense of humor, very dry sense of humor. Hello, Grant. Hope to see you on Friday at Lumpini. I haven't been too active in the chats recently. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll see you there. Let's chat. Let's catch up before the show outside. So another member, Grant. Thanks for your support. One of the Hong Kong massive out here. So I'll be there. I'm flying in on Thursday for the face-offs and the weigh-ins. And yeah, I'll be hanging around for the weekend. I might check out a gym or two. Then I'm going to Samui for a bit, and then coming back for Fight Night 33 the following week. So 2 weeks and a couple days out there in Thailand. I look forward to it. This Friday card is low-key a banger, Shandy says. Yeah, it is. I'll do a proper preview sometime, I think either tomorrow or Wednesday, because it is a great card. Will Solin U fight in Japan in November, says David. I don't know. I really don't know. He was meant to fight Liam Harrison, right, in Denver in August. So I don't know if they've... It sounds like they haven't kept that date. Maybe they'll move it to Japan. It seems like a bit of a random one to do in Japan. It might just, end up being delayed till next year when they do the Denver show. Yeah, okay. Well, we've hit an hour, so I'm minded to leave it there, guys. Pretty much discussed everything I wanted to do from the press conference. If you have any more questions, get them in quickly. Grant will be training at Sword Dash Japan. Maybe I'll swing by. I've never been. I'd like to do some interviews. Yeah, I was thinking to go to Sitsong Pinong as well. Ichi, good night. Alive Breads, they should start investing and upgrade the pay-per-view site ASAP so it won't crash again. Yeah, I was thinking about this. I hope they have a fail-safe and they plan for this. They really can't afford that again. But yeah, let's leave it there because I plan on doing a show tomorrow morning. So in about like 12 hours. So morning Asia, evening America. I don't think there was much other news to discuss from the last few days. I'm just scrolling through my feed to see if I missed anything important. Don't think so. This was the big stuff. Friday fights as well last week. I don't know if there's anything massive to discuss. I did like Asadullah Iman Ghazaliev. I thought he should have got a contract for that finish. I thought it was excellent. Another brilliant knockout from him. All right, let me quickly look at this card. Yeah, so not a great recap from me here, a bit rushed, but yeah, I thought it was a great card. I thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of finishes, one after the other. Another for Jason Moralpez, a Filipino MMA guy. They're having some good momentum with him now. I like this Ayub El Khadraoui guy. Looked pretty good. Second round TKO. Pretty much finished the guy in the first round, Kaisei Sato. But yeah, he was saved by the bell almost. It wasn't much longer in the second round. He did get the finish. Donnie Smith from the UK. Didn't go too well for him against Maciej Karpinski, but I think Donnie's young, only 17 years old. He was training out of Tiger Muay Thai. So, but yeah, Karpinski looked pretty good as well. Looks like a madman here. You can see the eyes. Nong Fasai and Francisca Vera. It was turned into a decent one by the end. Went to decision. Vera got it, so another decision for her. Back-to-back wins. Pretty good momentum for her. See her becoming a player on the main roster, potentially finding out a Phuket Fight Club. She could, maybe join the atomweight division up there. Has some good wins now to her name. Asadullah. I just thought Asadullah deserved the contract. He looks so good against this guy, Demputai from Suplex Gym. So good. Just the variation of strikes. It's incredible. From the question mark kicks to the spinning back fists. Everything he throws is so unorthodox. He's just like a ninja. Yeah, incredible. I was talking to Mehdi afterwards. It's like, why hasn't he got a contract? And Mehdi was dumbfounded too. Yeah. Yeah, just madness. I think he should have got the deal. And then there's 5 wins now, I think, in a row for Asadullah, 5 knockouts. Boom, boom, boom. 1 decision, 4 knockouts. Yeah, he deserves it. Let's see. Maybe they want to like cook him a little longer, give him a few more fights. If not, but I'm pretty sure he will be. Yeah, on the main roster. He will be one day, and he'll be tearing it up. He's got a great future ahead of him. Why tomorrow morning, Lewis says. Just I don't really like doing too many night shows because it just kills me a little bit. Because I go to the gym and then I come back and I just like to unwind after that. So I work from sort of 10 till 6 in this very room, doing my writing and various bits and bobs, and then go to the gym, and I don't really like coming back and doing more work after that. So morning's good. Just I'm fresh then as well. So I can do 1 evening show a week, but a few more of them would kill me. Plus morning, I just tend to be on my game a bit more. I can react to all the news. We'll see what happens though. That time slot is great for me. I'm not complaining. Story of the fight says, yeah, it's a bit of a trial thing at the moment. When does Nabati's ban end, by the way? Chummy Boy says, I think it's April next year, so or something like that. No, February. Yeah, it'd be February next year. So yeah, time flies. He'll be back soon. But yeah, we'll get on the show tomorrow. We'll do, I think, Friday fights preview, and then see if any other news pops up. I'm sure it will. But yeah, I'll try and sneak in. Yeah, show definitely get one tomorrow. We'll see what happens Wednesday, but yeah, I'll be flying quite early on Thursday morning to Bangkok, so I'll be in the air about 8 a.m. So because I got to get to Lumpini for 12:30, something like that, Bangkok time in the afternoon. Let's get the early flight, do all that stuff. Then it's showtime Friday. So I can't even believe it's fight week. Doesn't feel like it. I was just there. But yeah, Temple's always worth checking out. 28 years later, reviews expected. Yeah, so Will wants me to go see this film. I love the first 2, Danny Boyle, obviously. So I want to try and sneak this film in before I fly out as well. So I think on Wednesday I'll go see the film. I'll give you my review. Don't worry. Yeah, looks like doing a watch along. I would do one if I was here, but I'm going, so you guys can do it. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for a preview of Friday fights. All the best, and stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for commenting. Flaming Mo is going to 28 years tonight. It was filmed here in the Northeast, so it must be good. Agreed. It looks good from the trailers I've seen. We'll see. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.